movie should be fun. Movie should be fun. Movie should be fun. Movie should be fun, yeah!
Hey there, movie fans, we've got an absolute classic to discuss today. Today we are talking about Roadhouse, starring Patrick Swayze. I can't believe I've never seen this film before. This film was pretty epic. It's about a mega super bouncer. Basically, he's the best bouncer that ever there was, except perhaps his mentor, who becomes a key player in the film. And he works at a sort of, sleazy dive bar. You got sort of sleazy rock blues. He's in large cream trousers, which makes a lot of sense. Fights happen and stuff like that. And there's this guy with a little sort of string neckerchief thing, and he's wandering around, and you think, oh, what's going on here? He starts chatting to them. Basically, he makes him an indecent proposal to come and work at his even sleazier bar and help him clean it up. Obviously, Patrick takes him up on that offer, but he refuses to fly because it's too dangerous. So he drives. Instead of taking a plane, he drives a car. So we know he's an idiot, that and wearing a cream suit while being a bouncer. But he's a charming, attractive, beautiful idiot with hair which is just a sheer masterpiece. So he's in this new bar, and it's an even rougher place. The band is protected by chicken wire. This band gets top billing among the opening credits, so you know there's going to be a lot of sleazy blues. Guy sitting there down there playing pedal steel guitar type thing, guitar on his lap. And he's sort of a friend guy. Obviously, they've all heard of this mega bouncer. They're like, oh, is that Dalton? Is that Dalton? That guy over there, he's Dalton. Because in this world, bouncers are like a mixture between a celebrity and a mob boss. So he goes about making enemies of everyone, basically, firing all the incompetents that work in the bar. People with dodgy mustaches behind the bar and all sorts of stuff. And basically, as fast becomes an enemy of this rich guy who basically runs the town. You gotta pay him, you gotta keep up with him and all that kind of stuff. Handily, he lives in a large mansion across the lake from the awesome loft conversion that Dalton is living with, thanks to sort of country Santa Claus who rents it to him. So he can see the rich guy. He has these orgies and parties with topless women everywhere. There are topless women everywhere in this film, but there is also Patrick Swayze topless pretty much everywhere in this film. There are a lot of greased, shiny people in this film. He does a sort of yoga / martial arts kata out by the lake topless. He's having sex with his girlfriend. There's just nudity everywhere because it was the 80s. And apparently back in the 80s, the late 80s, everyone wore bandanas. Everyone could smoke indoors, which I was like, oh yeah, people used to be able to smoke indoors. And everyone wears bandanas and has perms and wears huge trousers. So there's a lot of interesting fashion choices. Swayze himself looks pretty normal when he's wearing his sort of plain tees. And then every now and again he goes for sort of silk geese with short arms and all sorts of interesting outfits he sports. One of the bad guy's henchmen one of them has white cowboy boots which he wears over his jeans. The other one's this big guy who wears red braces, and they're just an attractive looking bunch, really, the henchmen. You certainly can't tell they're meant to be the bad guys. One of them does drive a huge monster truck after all. When he first gets to this new bar, he sort of stands around witnessing. He witnesses a bar fight which is started in the creepy, weirdest way possible. This guy sort of pimps out the girl he's with. He offers this other guy a chance to kiss her tits for money, but instead he just gropes them, and then a fight starts out, and you're just like, okay. He meets a doctor who works in a local town, and she and him become a bit of an item. And this loft is amazing. When he needs to, in a hurry, he can run out of his window, run down the side of the roof, jump off a car, just sort of, ninja roll on the floor, and he's on the ground, running after danger. This guy, he's a superhero. He is a superhero bouncer. Now, I can't talk about Roadhouse without talking about some of the absolutely fantastic one-liners in this film from all sorts of people. Here are just a few. How about we get nipple to nipple? Does a hobby horse have a wooden dick? Nobody wins a fight. I sure ain't here to show you my dick. I used to fuck guys like you in prison. I see you found my trophy room. The only thing missing is your ass. I'll kill you the old-fashioned way. At which point, he stops fist fighting and gets out a gun, which is apparently a more old-fashioned way of killing people than with your bare hands. Basically, Patrick Swayze is awesome. This bad guy who runs the town, he blows up people's businesses who don't help him. His henchmen drive monster trucks out of car garages over other cars. He's basically a bad dude. He hits women, all sorts of stuff. Swayze has to stop him. Swayze does stop him. He stops him in a fight. Now, this old guy holds his fight pretty well against young, considerably fitter Patrick Swayze, and then he and his girlfriend celebrate with a skinny dip in the river. Why not? The whole town helps him at the end, of course. You got a mansion full of dead bodies, and you're like, what is going to happen when the police turn up and there's a whole house full of dead bodies? The police do turn up, and everyone says, I didn't see nothing. Case closed. I should talk briefly about the mentor of Patrick Swayze's character, Dalton. He's awesome. He's like what Patrick Swayze's character should look like in 40 years. His hair is longer, he's more bedrazzled, but he can sort your bar out, he can fight with the best of them, and he does nothing but drink. When he's been nearly killed, he just wants a drink. And you know, if you want someone to clean up a bar full of rough, drunk people who can't behave, what you really want is a sort of manager, bouncer superhero who's always drunk off his head. That seems like perfect logic to me. I would hire that guy in an instant. So, was this movie fun? Hell yes, this movie was fun. Oh, I mean, like I said, I can't believe I've never seen it. It's classed as an action film, and you're like, it's about a guy who works in a bar. But it is an action film. There's action everywhere. There's monster trucks rolling over things. There's fist fights. There's cars. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on. He is a superhero who is a bouncer. And I think this is the only film about someone like that. It's a great film. Patrick Swayze and fantastic in it. The whole cast is brilliant. They're all chewing scenery up and down the walls. Like, give me more scenery to chew. But they do it wonderfully. And everyone is great. If I had one criticism of this movie, I would say it goes on a little bit too long for what it is. Sort of 15 minutes, cut off the runtime. Be a little bit quicker, a little bit slicker. But, you know, I'm splitting hairs here now. Roadhouse is fantastic. I can see why Family Guy enjoyed referencing it so much, because I want to be Dalton. So there we have it. That was Roadhouse, starring Patrick Swayze, which I really enjoyed. So you should check it out if you haven't seen it already. Grubby Phil, thanks very much for watching. Yeah.
Movie,